Indeed, thanks, Hugh. We're going to Leeds now. We're going to speak to the Labour Shadow Justice Secretary, Richard Burgon. Welcome to the programme. It looks like you're going down to a pretty. Looks like you're going down to a pretty bad defeat. What's caused it?
Well, it does look like a bad defeat, and we need to analyse objectively where we lost the votes, in which part of the country, and which parties we lost them to. And I'm very concerned about what people in my constituency and across the country are going to face with 5 years of a Thatcherite Prime Minister in the shape of Boris Johnson. In terms of what's gone wrong, we need to analyse it objectively, but it seems to me that the primary reason is that because this became a Brexit election, it became an election which the Brexit issue overshadowed traditional party loyalty.
Was it all down to Brexit and nothing to do with Jeremy Corbyn?
Well, in the 2017 general election, we had a very similar manifesto, the same leader, and we gained 3 million votes. Fast forward 2 years later, and we haven't done very well at all, and it's a very worrying result indeed. So the thing
actually, you had a much more radical manifesto this time. There was a lot more spending, a lot more tax rises, and a lot more borrowing. In 2017, you were not saying you would take 10% of every company employing more than 250 people. It was a more radical manifesto. Has that not played any part in the results tonight?
In terms of when I was going around my own constituency and other constituencies around the country, people weren't complaining about our policies of taking rail, mail and water into public ownership. They weren't complaining about the policy of a £10 an hour minimum wage or stopping privatisation of the NHS. They were raising the issue of Brexit, and it does appear that people wanted to get Brexit done. So I think that seems to me to be the main thing that's changed. Similar manifesto, same leader in the last two general elections.
So let me just get this right. Tonight you've lost Lee. It's been Labour since 1922. You've lost Wrexham. It's been Labour since 1935. You lost Blythe Valley. It's been Labour since 1950. You lost Darlington, Labour since 1992. You've lost Stoke Central, Labour since 1935. We haven't got the result, but your candidate admitted he's lost. And you're saying that's gone all down to Brexit and nothing to do with Jeremy Corbyn and John McDonnell and the kind of policies they've espoused?
Of course. The Murdoch press, the Sun newspaper, and also the Daily Mail have done a very good job of making people think that Jeremy Corbyn, a decent man, is some kind of threat to national security, some kind of terrorist even, or racist when he's
Is that the
quite
best you can do?
reverse.
It's the fault of the media. It's the fault of the media. It's the fault of Brexit. It's not the fault of the people in control of your party. Is that it?
If the right-wing newspapers, if it didn't work when they do that, they wouldn't bother wasting their time or expertise on money on that. But I think the primary reason was this was a Brexit election. But we need to analyse objectively and soberly.
You've said that.
For example, between 1997 and 2010, we lost 5 million votes when Labour supported policies of cuts and policies of war. We had to analyse why we lost those votes to get them back. In the same way, after tonight, we need to analyse objectively where we lost those votes, how we lost those votes, and how to get them back. But facing 5 years...
But let me ask you this, because...
But facing five...
I mean, you're not really telling me anything at the moment. Let me ask you this. Do you think in 5 years' time, the Labour Party should fight the election with broadly the same manifesto, same policy stance that it's had in this election?
This election was a Brexit election. The next election won't be... this election was a Brexit election. The next election won't be a Brexit election. And I think after 5 years of Thatcherite government, there is no future for the Labour Party in supporting some kind of triangulation or some kind of watered-down version of austerity.
You stick with Corbynism?
I think our policies were very popular.
Okay.
People weren't complaining to me about our policies in this election.
Do you stick with Mr Corbyn?
Well, Jeremy will issue a statement in due course and make a decision in due course.
What's your view?
I think it's too early to be speculating.
If he calls and asks for your advice, what's your advice?
He will make his mind up. I think it's... and he can speak for himself on this matter.
No, I wasn't asking for him. I was asking for your
speculation.
But clearly I'm not going to get it, but that's fine. It's late at night, and you've got your count to
I mean,
go back
my view...
Yeah.
My view.
You're going to answer the
is that
question?
My view is that Jeremy Corbyn is a far more decent, progressive and effective person than many of his cheap and tawdry critics in the press and in the Conservative Party.
That's fine, but it doesn't answer my question. We'll leave it there. I'm sure we'll get to return to it in the days ahead. Let's go back to Hugh. Thank you.